Alright, so, this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Hunter Johnson, who sent me a request regarding some Ed, Edd and Eddy horror crossovers, and this is the first of those, which I call Friday the Edteenth. So, this is obviously a Ed, Edd and Eddy Friday the 13th crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this, and yeah, let's get started with the video. The story begins with Ed, Edd and Eddy on a running away from another scam gone horribly wrong. They are running for their lives, and they have run pretty damn far. Now, as such, they have run pretty far out into the deep woods, and they got lost in those woods and eventually found their way to the remains of Camp Crystal Lake. And at first, they're just like, it's an old campground. Like, I've never been out here before, and they don't know it's that campground. But basically, they go walking around and think this is real. It's some abandoned campground, and they think, oh, this is so much fun, like, you know, it's a nice little hiding spot. And then Ed throws out just basically says, we could have so many parties here. And that's when Eddie's like, parties? I can make money off of those parties. And he grabs Double D and Ed and goes, boys, welcome to Club Ed Part 2. So Eddie's already seeing dollar signs, but as they're inspecting the cabin, Double D is like, gentlemen, assistance now, please. So they run over. So Ed and Eddie run over, and they see that they see the sign, Camp Crystal Lake. And Ed's like, ooh, is the lake really made out of crystals, Eddie? And Eddie's like, this looks really bad. You're going to tell me why, Double D. And Double D's like, don't you remember those haven't you been listening to crime dramas? You always talk about how much you listen to, you know, a crime podcast. And he's like, oh yeah, totally. You go ahead, Sockhead. I'll let you have this one. And he goes, this is Camp Crystal Lake. The Voorhees murders. This is the site of the Voorhees murders. So in here, what Pamela Voorhees did is known. But what her son Jason did, it's treated almost like an urban myth, and people like go in here but go missing. It's almost like it's cursed. Now, Double D doesn't believe in the curse, but he does believe in the Pamela Voorhees murders and what had happened. What had happened to the first victims of Pamela's rampage, and he just thinks that this is just all in bad taste, and he's like, Eddie, please, can we just go? This is not okay. Like, we can't in good conscience have a murder site for our new club. And he's like, Eddie, I'm trying to appeal to your good nature, to your conscience, man. And Eddie's like, keep talking, Double D, because those happened decades ago. Those murders happened back in the 1800s, and Double D's like, that's not even right. That's not even close to being right, Eddie. He's like, whatever. They happened ages ago. No one cares about these murders. And as far as I'm concerned, what's gonna happen? Jason's gonna pop out of his grave and kill us? I'd like to see that. So they go back to the cul-de-sac to establish Club Ed Part 2. But they are completely unaware that Jason was watching them the entire time. Yeah, Jason had been keeping his eye, been watching them. It was actually moving closer and closer to them. So the Eds go back, and they're like, we got to get material to rebuild this place, but for now, we're going to keep it secret. We're not going to announce to everybody like we did last time and lose to the Cankers. So we're going to come back here with equipment, and we're going to rebuild this place. And that's what they do, even though Double D is still like, this is in bad taste, this is not okay, this is where people were murdered. And Eddie's just like, well, they're not here anymore. So the Eds get to work on rebuilding the campground. And through it, in typical Ed, Edd and Eddy fashion, it's more like a like a series of near misses of getting killed by Jason. Like Jason like pulls out an arrow, he fires it, and Double D like kneels down. It's like, ooh, I haven't seen this species of ant in this area. He bends down to inspect it. The arrow goes flying over his head. Ed is like painting, and he more or less every time he paints, he like ducks and it's like, ooh, a turtle, and Jason's like trying to swing a machete at him every time, and he just keeps missing. Eddie is like counting his like just enjoying the view and looking at like the fruits of his labor slowly coming together, and Jason's like sneaking up on him, and that's when Ed's like, "Hey Eddie, catch!" What? And he throws like a 2x4, and he like moves, and Jason gets knocked in the head with it, and falls back under the bushes. So by the end of it, Camp Crystal Lake is now known as Club Ed 2. So they come back and are like, "Hey guys, we made a new Club Ed," and they're like, "Dude," Kevin's like, "Dude, you didn't do that? You didn't make a new club." But the Eds are like, "Yeah, come with it. Come check out our new club." So they eventually convince the kids to follow them deep into the woods and return and come to Club Ed, and they're like, "This is awesome." So what follows next can only be described as shenanigans, because essentially what happens next is such. Jason's just kind of like hiding in the shadows and just trying to like kill everyone, but he keeps missing, or something happens that hurts him. Like Johnny's like, "Go long, Plank," and flies into the air. Jason's like just in the woods, and he gets hit in the head. He tries to kill people, like he just tries to do like stealth kills, kind of like in part 2, but he keeps like getting pummeled or something happening, like a goddamn Scooby-Doo sketch. He even like gets he even loses his mask, and Ed walks around like, "I am Jason Voorhees, give me your peanut butter." So Jason's just like, ugh. He's just getting more and more frustrated with all of this, until eventually, like when Ed comes out, like Eddie, he thinks the idea would be funny, like as a prank, he could come out, like he could dress Ed as Jason, and he comes out, and everyone's like, "Ah," they're all terrified, and Ed's like, "Ha, pretty good, huh?" And they're all. Ed turns around, it's actual Jason. And everyone Scooby-Doo's the fuck out of there as Jason, like Ed goes, "Here you go." And Jason proceeds to chase everyone like in the goddamn video game, trying to pick them all off, but he keeps missing them because, again, it's like almost like a Scooby-Doo sketch where they're all just running everywhere, until eventually they all get in the boat, and they all find like one big boat, and like just haul ass across the river. Like they have Ed as the engine, and he just is like, "Kick my feet faster, kick my feet faster, kick my feet faster," until they get to the other side of the lake. And Jason is just like he's just watching them run away, and he goes and leaves, because he's like, "I'm done, I'm over it." So there you go, guys. That is Friday the Edth. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, I'd like to thank Hunter Johnson for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. And like I said, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the 3rd tier, and then you can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.